For the latest top tips, reviews and advice, please subscribe below.
Hello and welcome to Attwoolls Camping and Leisure with me, Mike. Today I'm giving you a little review on a lovely little model from Robens. This here is the Robens Klondike. It's a model that's been running for quite a few number of years now in the Robens range, and it's something that's certainly gone from strength to strength. It's basically kind of like a traditional bell tent with a little bit of a twist. So it's polycotton rather than traditional canvas, so the joys this means it's actually quicker to dry and it's lighter in terms of weight. Because it's polycotton, obviously it's still breathable, so you get a beautiful, it keeps it nice and cool in there on a nice warm summer's day, but the material tends to react. So the joy is with polycotton is when the weave it gets hot, it actually expands, allows air to pass through it, but on the other side when it gets colder, the weave keeps it tight and keeps the warmth inside, so it tends to react with temperature really nicely. More of a classic style, like I said, like a traditional sort of bell tent is certainly one that I really do like, just because it's something a bit different you see in comparison to campsites these days. A bit more urban, rugged camping really, and you can do wild camping this quite happily. A few different tweaks from 2016 to 2017 for this new season, first of which is the ability on the gyro system. So they've introduced these nice new sliders, so it means it's easier to adjust it and actually a much more robust pegging point on the actual guy ropes as well, which for me makes quite a nice little difference. You still got this beautiful traditional fronted door, which you could actually more than happily close up, and you've got a nice mesh panel here as well, so if you want to get yourself good circulation of air through there, that's not a problem whatsoever. And the joys is you can obviously have the split open door, you can then zip the ground sheet onto it there, and then that makes it nicely enclosed. One thing that's been sort of noted in the last years, and hence why they sort of modified it, is when you do try and use the volcano stove, so like the wood burner stove inside of it, you kind of have to only do it with the ground sheet removed. So the joys of this, like I said, you've got a zip in, zip out ground sheet, but one thing that's tweaked for this year is there's now a zip running straight down the middle from the entrance. So you can open that up, and you've got a nice Velcro part, so that then Velcros back. So it means you can use the wood burner stove in here, means all the embers and the ash and things like that go straight onto the grass rather than burning a hole in the ground sheet. So it means the main body of the tent still sewn in, so you've got the luxury of that, but you've got just the part for the cooking. Alternatively, say it's chucking it down with rain, leave that open, the rain's then going to suddenly flood and just drain into the grass rather than suddenly collect on the ground sheet. That was never sort of criticism of it in last year. So like I said, nice new feature, certainly I think makes quite a bit of a difference, and it's just a small tweak, but definitely a good one at that. And obviously being sort of like a traditional sort of bell tent, very easy to put up, so really just sort of peg the base out, stick one pole in the middle, and then you've got this new sort of A-frame style things which just slot in there, so it's a really well thought out tent, and certainly I said in years gone by it's been extremely popular. Admittedly, you have to, personally for me, duck to get inside of it, but when you do get inside of it, you get plenty of headroom. But we'll talk a bit more about certain features as we head inside in just a second. So now we're inside the tent, the first thing you can obviously see is a bit better on how it's all laid out. I showed you just before about the whole zip part of there, but inside it's like a good sort of rounded style tent. Traditional sort of bell tents tend to have sort of sloping part and then sort of a very almost upright roof, and then you use the pegging points really to give you the leverage. But once you sort of get inside of it opens up completely. Like I said, you can stand up really nicely, there's sort of plenty of room inside of here. There's an optional carpet you can purchase as well as an inner tent. For me, I would personally sleep wherever I really please. You've got ventilation panels sort of scattered around the place. So one up here, one back here as well, and you've got two more positioned in like so, just to give yourself a bit more circulation of air when necessarily you need it. So you've got one pole straight in the front, and like I said, you've got the classic A-frame on there as such. The joys of the one pole is actually sort of kind of acts like a Russian doll in many ways, that it just folds into the one point, so really your pole just ends up to that. And then you've also got some hanging points as well, so you can hang you know, coats, anything like that to dry off, and if you wanted, like I said, to use the volcano stove, you've also got a sort of chimney flue, which you can then put the sort of exhaust of the stove out of again, to cook yourself inside of here. You've still got the ability, like I said, to zip in or out of the ground sheet. So if you wanted to go sort of really wild camping, unzip that with bark, rugs, or whatever, bearskin rugs, whatever you fancied. You've got the versatility in doing that. So, and like I said, because it's kind of like a little bit of a twist on a classic bell tent, a lot of people are really going for it, mainly because it's the lightness of it, and you still get a good long lifespan out of it, but you don't have to worry with the big bulkiness or trying to dry it every time you use it in the wet. So positive model, and certainly one that we possibly should be displaying in our indoor showroom, which we're currently in at the moment at Attwoolls. So definitely one to watch out for, and by all means pop in and visit us and sort of see the lovely concept of the classic. So that is the Robens Klondike.